Tony Dunn, ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
What's going on, C3 Panthers Podcast? This is Xavier League out here, man. I just wanted to shout y'all out and say what's going on, man.
Oh, I know.
What's going on? It's the C3 Panthers Podcast brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. Every Tuesday night, we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. Tonight's show, calm before Panthers training camp storm. We got a great one for you. Debates over the stadium renovations, funding, capitalism, and socialism all together. The Buffalo Bills have become the new color guard of the NFL. And we've got the Blueprint Part 2 out for you guys to digest. And it looks like Dan Morgan is the center of this new franchise, which is really important. I think we finally have maybe some continuity of structure going forward. Call into the show at 252-228-5098. Hey, I do it each and every week with my homeboy, my wheelman, Cody Lack. How you doing?
Tony Dunn. It's another Tuesday, and we're coming hot off another episode of the Panthers Blueprint. Man, it really just feels like this Panthers team has a purpose. Like every decision they make has a real purpose behind it. They move with conviction. Everyone from Canales to Dan Morgan, who I think Dan Morgan has very quickly become a darling amongst Panthers fans and pundits alike. I'm loving it. Have some great insights. We're going to have this big debate that everyone's been having about how much should David Tepper be shelling out for the stadium, the city. Tony, we've got all that and more. And you already know there's nowhere I'd rather be on a Tuesday night than chilling, hanging with my boys, talking about Panthers football with the best damn Panther fans in all of YouTube. You already know them. I love them. We got our boys Panther Pickle in the building. Joey the Blind Panther Esquivel. These ill skills, the brand ambassador. Salute you, brother. Our boy Kyle at Charlotte Sports 1. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Matt Knows Nothing. Mr. Strats, what's up, brother? My man D in the building. What's up with you, bro? Tim Stellings. And the man of the night, the man who made that clip possible with Xavier Leggett, our boy White Chocolate Espresso. Tony, he might have to go from being your bastard son to your legitimate son.
I know. That's the way to earn your father's love.
Tony Dunn, ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
The number's 252-228-5098. Hanging out here again each and every week with the voice that makes a moist CK. Good to see you again.
Man, I'm just happy to be here. Listen, the most exciting news from today, I didn't get to watch the Blueprint, so my apologies. You guys are going to have to fill me in on a lot of that. The most exciting news from today is we're a month away from training camp, and that is just, it's so close we can smell it. You guys know C3 is going to be down in Charlotte. I'm really hoping we get good news about the spectators. I know there's some things we'll talk about, but looking forward to being down there with you fellas.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Not only is C3 going to be there, but a lot of people from the Legion. We're going to have a lot of opportunities for us to get together and continue to get to know each other. That's really what it's going to be most about, is continuing. You know, it's really nice. You become such tight friends with people. Like even my bastard son, Kevin, or he's legitimate. The first time I met him in person, though, was at training camp last year.
Yeah.
And the hug of that long lost son and his father uniting was something special. All right, guys, help us out. Look, it's the off season, kind of a smaller audience, but mighty in here tonight. We'll get some numbers coming here shortly, but it's not about that. It's about you guys. Be a part of the show. Communicate in the chat. join the C3 Legion in their spaces on almost every day. I feel like they're going at some point these days. Monday, Wednesdays, warm up before the show. Thank you guys for all of that effort. And look, this show isn't about the three people on this panel. It's about all of us in here together. And I think that Xavier Leggett video shows that, is like, look at that. You guys are out there doing the work. So thank you very much. Smash the thumbs up, subscribe, share, all of that. Let's get into it, Cody. The calm before the training camp storm. We did have a lot of, mini camp stuff going on and things like that. I mean, not a ton of news since we met last week. I didn't hear any real more details about the real, kind of progress of camp really after Tuesday, I don't think. I mean, maybe one more day.
So there was a few things that we touched on during the free-for-all that we can certainly talk about tonight. On the one play that the Panthers posted of Bryce Young throwing a ball to Deontay Johnson, Ikem Ekwonu is being destroyed. Destroyed by Tay Davis, who is a corner on the team, no less. So that prompted a discussion. I'm sure we can talk about that some more. And Harrison Mevis is still undefeated, still perfect in team period. And the few times that Eddie did kick in team period, I think he missed twice and had a doink. So it's not, not looking too great on that front. But
I saw the one thing with the catch from the Deontay Johnson is like nobody making that catch last. But look, training camp stuff. I was really excited about watching. I've already forgotten his damn name at this point. Who was the wide receiver that was going nutso over?
Deontay Johnson?
No, last year that I was like, he's gonna be a number one.
Chart.
Yeah, DJ Chart. I've already forgotten that man. And so look, I'm not gonna get overly excited when it comes to men working out in shorts and t-shirts, let alone playing flag football. But it's nice to see somebody that has that is known for being a solid player. And we saw some of that in the blueprint when they talked to Deontay Johnson with Brad Chizik. Is that how you say his name?
Brad Idzik.
Idzik.
Chizik, but that's a name too, but that's not us.
Idzik he's like, he kept saying the word duo, right? So I think he's referring to Leggett and Deontay Johnson. Unless that clip was before the draft, and then I guess he might have been talking about him and Thielen. Either way, this duo could be a trio, and we're really excited about where it's going. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty, Cody.
Yeah, well, first up, again, we had the Panthers Blueprint that went live at 7, 2 hours before we went live. And again, nothing too crazy, but we got a real in-depth look at the processes that led to, one, all of our free agent signings, like Gabriel Lewis, like Robert Hunt, Ashawn Robinson, and Jadeveon Clowney. But we also got a little bit more insight into the draft process and how they decided to move and go about things. We found out that, and we knew this, but they were very high on Xavier Leggett. And as soon as the Buffalo Bills traded back to 31, they saw that as their opportunity to go up and move into the first round and not only get Xavier a little bit more money, but to also pick up that 5th-year option on him. The entire front office was very excited about it. And then I think what was one of the most heartening parts of the entire episode was in the second round, when you saw how excited everybody was to, one, be able to trade back a little bit. And we found out that they had been entertaining offers for 39, even on Thursday night of round 1 of the draft. So they knew that they had a very highly coveted pick over there at 39, but they were absolutely ecstatic about them being able to move back with the Rams, being able to recoup their 2025 second round pick, then to be able to move up a little bit later and be able to grab Jonathan Brooks, who everybody in the front office was really high on. I love how they detailed that process. And overall, I felt like it was, very revealing as to the thought processes that the people in the front office have about our players. And I have a few more thoughts, but I'll let y'all jump.
Yeah, they did spend a lot of time, or at least interviewing both Dan Morgan and Dan Morgan and Brant Gillis.
Oh yeah. I saw the preview thinking that it was an odd decision to have him be the front of the like one of the main people on the blueprint. That was interesting.
Yeah. Well, so, as he brought up this discussion and he put it in this word just helps explain it very clearly, is he says you have two finite resources when you're putting together a team: draft picks and cap money, right? There's only, it's not unlimited. So you have to use those in a way that is the most beneficial to your franchise. So then they talked a lot about the recouping of the picks and how that, the benefits of doing that. But I'm with Cody whoever those three guys in the background that when they drafted Jonathan Brooks,
yeah,
those dudes went nutso, dude. They were just like, whoa, yeah. Like I was like, damn.
They were Texas fans.
Yeah.
We also, I think we have a clip of that.
Watch their reaction, man. Let's see what we got.
Hang on.
Another thing, well, go ahead, Cody, when you pull it up, and I'll just stop talking when it comes up. But they did CK make Morgan and Gillis a big part of this, right? No David Tepper, All right, watch these dudes in the background. Also, Cody, one of the people in the comments suggested a volume booster extension for your browser.
Yeah, I saw that.
We'll look into that for maybe next week.
Some things up. So,
watch these dudes in the background.
What?
Ranch is offer next year's 2 to move back to 52.
Next year's 2 plus this year's 52. Pretty good. But when the Rams, when they offered what they offered, it was too good to pass up. We didn't have a 2 the next year in 25. So to get that 2 back,
this actually isn't the right clip, but this is detailed. But I do have that one though. This is them detailing.
All right, we'll play it and we'll talk about
really
it.
Good going in the next year.
Okay, so we'll win. That's fun. We got a 2 for next year. That's huge.
So to me, that was one of the biggest parts. Like, and they even said later in the show, like the amount of trades that Dan Morgan was able to navigate for somebody who's the first year on the job, that it was really impressive on his part, even being able to do that. Cover me while I find the other.
Yeah, I'm most. I'm intrigued by, like CK said, when Brant Gillis is kind of front and center on this. CK is automatically clearly playing a big role, right? We always heard the Amir Suleiman name.
Right.
I don't remember necessarily. I guess there was one time that they said we make these decisions all together in an article or something, but I don't remember necessarily in the blueprint, like him fielding calls, working with. It looked like he was getting the information and then relaying it to Dan, who Dan is able to process it instead of Dan being on the phone negotiating. Hold on, let me talk to the boss. It really seems like Dan's the king. Brant Gillis is the consigliere, if you use the old mafia talk. And that structure that we look is even David Tepper he didn't even say a word during that exchange.
No.
And that's, I think, hopefully that's a good thing.
And apparently when moving forward with all these stadium things that we're talking about, apparently that's one of the things that the Panthers organization is very much leading with, that now David Tepper has hired people at positions that he trusts to run things, and that David Tepper himself is really taking a back seat on a lot of these decision-making processes. This has actually been a selling point for the Carolina Panthers in their recent stadium negotiations with the city that's been going on yesterday and today. This is a clip of the Panthers moving up for Jonathan Brooks.
I think we should do our 2 5s. Because the Giants had Brooks in for a 30 visit. I think we should do it.
142 and 155. Okay, great. We'll call it in there. Yep.
Yeah, those two guys, man. They must be the running back, dude.
Select Jonathan Brooks.
I think we should do it.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
So hey, if they're pumped, I mean that when you see that again, they were also pumped last year for Chandler Zavala and a few other players, different coaching staff, mind you. But listen, it was pretty much consensus that Jonathan Brooks was the best running back in the
Till the
class.
injury.
And as you hear even despite of the injury, his production, at full health, he was easily the best running back in college football last year.
Yeah,
On top of that-
G Baby used to always put up that he was on a roll to be more productive than Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, and their numbers were very similar, and Bijan was that guy. It was the top 10 pick. But then also, they knew that other teams really liked him, that other teams really wanted to get him. And when you listen to the blueprint, it makes it seem like they had a few different players at that spot that they really, really wanted to be a part of the team. And they knew that if they were going to sit where they were at pick 52,
Some of them may not.
that wouldn't be high enough for them to get a player that they wanted. So knowing that the Giants interviewed him, he was one of their top 30 visits. Same thing with the Cowboys. The Panthers wanted to be aggressive and make sure that they went and got their dude. And listen, if the Panthers are that excited about what Jonathan Brooks has the potential to do in this offense, well, damn it, I am too, man. That's why you added those two maulers at left guard and right guard who were previewed in this very episode, who seem to have a great personality, great mentality. They want hands off of the quarterback, off of the running back. Man, I think that could be a match made in heaven. And there's potential that we could be looking at him as maybe the best player in this entire draft, depending on how things work out.
Right.
Maybe.
Now, I know that the discussion among even people like Cody and the draft heads and the modern football has devalued the running back, right? And the argument is that productivity, can be ultimately replaced or filled for much cheaper means, right? Now, that may there's value to that discussion, and that may also kind of diminish the need to take a running back in like the top 15 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like to that point. But what we do know is that an elite running back is a lot different than a regular running back, right? And those players, if you can get them, and they can they will make a difference on the team. I just think in this NFL, you're trying to get that elite running back at a different place and price than you were, say, in 2003, where you're taking a running back in the top 5.
Yeah.
It's not that the running back isn't good. Like, there's a big difference between an elite back and Miles Sanders.
Yeah, well, this all boils down to scarcity. Like, nobody would ever deny that having a top-tier running back is incredible for your offense. But when you have these guys that are being undrafted and they'll run for 1,000 yards in the season, it's just there's a lot of return on that investment, even when you're not investing on a whole lot.
Right.
But again, like when you move up for a player like that, that tells me that they have conviction about that player and what he can do. And I really like Chuba Hubbard. Maybe I'm the only one.
You are.
But I think that him and Miles Sanders and Rashad Penny, that isn't good enough room until Jonathan Brooks can really start to get healthy and really become a meaningful part of this offense. And for that, I'm happy, man. Also, I have some breaking news that's not football related. Willie Mays just passed away.
Oh, no.
At 93 years old.
Great Chicago Cub.
R.I.P. Willie Mays. Although they say forever Giant.
Yeah, he was. He was also a Cub, though.
Right,
I'm
the
a Cubs
Giants.
fan, so that's why I think of it.
Cool. Well, R.I.P. to Willie Mays, man.
Yeah. All right. So then let's see as they continue to go into the blueprint. Any other things from the blueprint that you would like to highlight? Let's talk about that linebacker.
Well, actually, this can be a question of its own, Tony. After watching this episode, what player are you most excited to see play this season? And I think that kind of coincides with what you're talking, Tony.
I don't know. That's a tough question. I really want to see if Liggett can really just step in and be, a force early on. I mean, we're kind of all hoping and needing that. I want to see Deontay Johnson thrive in this offense. I really want to see Jonathan Brooks come on at some point in the season. And you got to help me with the linebacker's name.
Josie Jewell.
No, the one we drafted.
Oh, Michael Bennett, I think. You might need to help me, bro. Chat, help me out.
Third round
help
pick,
us out.
Right? Panthers draft picks 2024. The list is, come on, he's got, remember we picked him over the NC State guy?
Yes.
Trevin Wallace. Trevin Wallace was our third round pick and linebacker from Kentucky. I'd like to see him step in. I think there's an opportunity for rookie linebackers to step into the field and make a difference. I'm not really I don't know if Jatavion Sanders from that tight end is really going to be a day one guy.
I don't think so. Part of it is just because it takes so long to learn the NFL blocking schemes and blocking assignments.
Yeah.
And you're blocking NFL players. It's a lot. It's a big time jump from college to the NFL. Tony, to me, this is also why you say, like, don't take the first round tight ends.
Yep.
Because they're not really ready coming out. But I'll give you credit on that one for sure. I'll tell you the player that I'm most excited about, just based on watching the blueprint. Dude, Ashawn Robinson. Ashawn Robinson seems like a dog, like Dan Morgan talks about. There was like a little clip of him like one-on-one with Brady Christensen. And I forget exactly what they were saying, but they were kind of talking shit to one another. And I just love the confidence, man. They said he's violent, he's mean, he's aggressive. And, bro, I think really him and Derek Brown on that same line together, shout out to Kev. Maybe I've been underestimating the capability of what this D-line is capable of. I'm definitely more excited about Ashawn Robinson now, more than I was even before this. And I was already kind of decently excited about him.
CK, who are you excited to see?
Without trying to be just an easy, I think it's Sanders. Honestly, I think knowing that he is like a tight end that we've been wanting for a while, I think that there's hope there. But
he's
I don't know.
Big,
yeah,
right?
It's you also hear people warning about his deficiencies and stuff. So it's easy to try to. I don't know. It's easy to try to get down on that, to be honest with you, but
I'm almost going to say, damn, our left tackle, Ikem Ekwonu. We got to see this guy now.
Oh God, yeah, dude.
Let me find that clip so that way we can look at it.
Oh, it's bad, dude.
Which is crazy. I'm the one sitting there watching the guy catch the ball, and you guys are all like, look at this guy get destroyed.
But did you literally see the name on the back of his jersey?
Was it a speed move?
It was almost like a power move. It was a speed move. He got around him. Because it was like he had his back turned to him. If it was a power, he'd be on his ass.
God.
It's going to take me a minute to find it, but I will find it.
But one clip, and you guys are already like put Brady Christensen in.
Well, you already know I'm like that.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm at that level yet.
Well,
we'll see how
even if it's the Nejaiman dude or whatever the guy's name is, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care who it is. I just want us to be able to know that we have someone that's ready to go in the event that Icky does struggle, because the pass rushers that he's going to face in the first 5 weeks of the season, dude, it's a who's who.
Pickle's not feeling y'all throwing Icky to the wolves. He said,
I know him.
Clip.
Him and Kobe and a few other people, All right, but it's also like we didn't see an entire season of Icky being a turnstile. But I'm not out on him. I'm just saying it doesn't look good. So
What's
this
his
is
number?
all right. So this is he's right here. This is him.
Oh,
So
oh,
okay,
okay.
great catch. But I'll try and pause it like as it.
I can't believe you guys picked that up.
Well, I didn't at first. Look, Ikem Ekwonu, his numbers and his name completely readable, dude. Completely readable.
Oh,
And by the way,
God.
here's Tay Davis, the guy who beats him. And I'm like, oh, is that a linebacker? No, that's a corner.
Well,
It's a
he's
corner.
fast. He's fast.
Yeah, damn sure.
And you
faster
can't
than Icky.
probably really put your hands on him.
And this is what I'm saying. Like I have expressed a lot of doubt about Ikem Ekwonu's ability to play that position. And Tony said, "Okay, you guys know that I was advocating to move him to guard, but now that's not even an availability for us because we just went out and got Gabriel Lewis and Robert Hunt. So now Ikem Ekwonu is in a position where it's either left tackle or he might be riding the bench. And to me, that's kind of scary. You know, we thought that we had finally put our left tackle woes to an end, that we found the heir apparent to Jordan Gross. And now there aren't too many people who feel like that. And I'll say this, let's be fair, right? That Ikem Ekwonu and Bryce Young, if you believe that those guys are going to be very good this year, that's fine. I'm not even going to tell you that you're wrong. But you're not basing it off of anything that you saw last year. And that's just the God's honest truth.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree with, at least for Bryce, right? I think to me, I don't think it's like we have to make a decision. That's where I think everybody wants to. Everybody just wants to be right? Is he's going to be good? He's going to be bad? I'm just saying this is like, let's just see what happens, and not that. I want to admit this is that Icky is a second year player, or going into his third season at a position that is one of the more difficult to play in the league, right? And what we want to see is these guys develop throughout their career. I will say this is that Icky struggled in the passing system that they had last year. And when we did see him excel, it was because of a switch to a run-heavy offense, right? So maybe what we'll get here is this, though, is that the Canales offensive system will be a best of both worlds, right? Is like it's not only run, it's not only pass, and this will allow Icky to settle in and develop into a system that is more beneficial to him. But he's a player that we have to continue to see grow. Now, I would say that the concerns there for me are higher for him than they are for Bryce. Again, Bryce only had one season on a disgusting team. I think the fact that he physically survived taught me a lot. I think we saw that he has the physical capability to play in this league. Right. I mean, and the crazy part is that's a wild thing to say when you're the number one draft pick overall. Right. But I mean, it's like, look, he survived the season. He made some good throws at times. He wasn't horrible by any means, but it's kind of just hard to, again, I don't know how to evaluate it. So look, I'm kind of like this is as long as Bryce Young steps forward this year, then I'm okay. Or not. Sure. I mean, I might not be jumping for joy if it's just a little step forward, but Icky stepped backwards in season 2. And the clock for him is counting down faster than it is for Bryce Young. Maybe not actually, since you're a quarterback, but yeah, like I just don't need to forecast that. I'm not ready to say that anybody's going to have a great season. I'm not ready to say anybody's going to have a terrible season.
Well, I'm also not saying good or bad. I'm saying that even when I look at Ikem Ekwonu's film at NC State, he has always had issues in pass protection. That's never been his forte. And yes, I agree that this offense, especially due to us wanting to run the ball more, it's going to be so much better for us to get the better out of Icky in this type of offense than ever before. However, there are going to be those third and long scenarios when we're going to have to depend on Ikem Ekwonu being able to hold up one-on-one without us having to put Ian Thomas or Tommy Trimble or a running back out on that side to help him block. I just hope that he takes that step forward this year. I think that he can, but just based on a lot of different things, I still have my doubts. And just like I need Bryce to prove me wrong, just like I need Jonathan Mingo to prove me wrong, I need the same thing from Ikem Ekwonu. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay.
I mean, like I said, that was a bad video, and I'm still not out on Icky, as you know, as everybody said here. But as Tony alluded to, I think it's red flags. You'd be surprised. Honestly, I think if you're not concerned about Icky, you'd be lying to yourself, because we have a lot of things you can look at to his rookie year and say, look how well he did, right? But we also know that there was some things that helped him out in his rookie season. I was optimistic after his rookie season, but last year was a trash can for everybody. Yeah. And there were still some concerns in his rookie season. Let's not get it twisted. There were still some red flags that he had. I'm not prepared to use this one clip as an example as to why he doesn't deserve to have a starting role in this offense. But I don't think that his leash should be very long at this point.
Yeah, man, we're gonna have to see how attached they are to him. How attached? If Dan Morgan might have been. Was he part of the front office in that draft pick? I know he was there for the Bryce Young pick. Was Dan Morgan there with Scott Fitter the year before yet? I don't remember. I just wonder how, but here's the thing is the good news about a guy like that, unlike a quarterback or something, you can get unattached to Icky, but that doesn't mean that you don't see any value on your team to him. All of a sudden you can find position changes and things. So it's not like a quarterback where you're just like, well, we can't use you anymore. Yeah, but he did, we saw him struggle in every possible way last season, whether it be with speed, with power, with footwork, with tech, and so everything went bad for him last year. And hopefully a new coaching staff and a new environment and a new outlook will help him get a new, fresh start. All right, what's next?
So a few more things Blueprint related, and then we can move on to the rest of the show. Listen, so staying in free agency, I thought, they did a really cool segment on the guards that we just got in free agency. And I think that it bears showing a little bit of that because it really pinpoints that mentality, that dog mentality that I feel like Dan Morgan has been talking about and injecting that into the offensive line.
Mean, tough, nasty offensive line, man. He's here to block your quarterback forever. Damian Lewis.
The offensive line signings? This is like 2 starting guards and a backup tackle.
Josh Nijman.
We just attacked the offensive line. Is he protected up front?
It's going to help the running game a ton, which will help Bryce Young.
Claude.
The left guard.
He was a fan base.
Shaq said Damian Lewis strong as a bitch, though.
Thank God. Here you go. Have fun. Woo. That's a real warm-up. Yeah, that was a warm-up.
All right.
A real warm-up.
I love that, man. Again, like seeing how often Bryce just got his ass handed to him last year because of the O-line. Like, if you're not heartened by that, then maybe you're dead on the inside.
I think that's why dead on the inside. I think that's why we all were really excited about the free agency this year, or at least I was. I can't speak for everybody, but I think that they did monetarily, and I know that people were distracted by the Brian Burns discussion and things like that. But to me, that money is better allocated to those guards right there than it would be to have Brian Burns on this team. I know. Is it like,
Yeah.
are we sitting here
Right.
thinking, I mean, and while people are concerned, this is what I have heard is the concerns about how this defense isn't better, right? Like they're say the person I don't like on Twitter most probably will have this take or whatever. You can make that take, but I still don't think people are really saying Brian Burns would have made it so much better.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't really hear people still pounding the table for Burns specifically.
Yeah. And I think, Tony, even the people that were about pounding the table for Brian Burns, I think that if they were speaking to you with their reason, they would all tell you that they would rather have Lewis and Hunt rather than Brian Burns. And we know that, and we were sort of on that train. You know, people thought we were sort of disrespecting Burns, but we also saw the writing on the wall. Like somebody else was going to pay Brian Burns, and that's exactly what happened. So, yeah, seeing these guys, and then, dude, look, hearing somebody like Shaq, who is, by the way, in his 10th year in the NFL, he's been in this game for a decade. Like even some small shit like that, like hearing him go like, "Damn, dude, Lou's stronger than a bitch out here." Like that's heartening to me. That guy knows what strong offensive linemen feel like. You know?
That's true, man, because he plays on the defensive side.
Yeah.
And I think too is that maybe we have gotten, and I'm not we, but you know how Matt Rule was so into the RAS score and athleticism.
Right. Yeah.
And this like finding these, and I have a theory of how that worked for him a lot in Temple. So I could see the benefit.
Kind of are in a certain way though. Like all of our guys they're high end performers.
There is just something to ox strength, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There are people out there that look in shape, you know what I'm saying, that are fit and all of this. And then there are mugs that just have ox strength. And that's what you need with offensive linemen is these guys that have this brutal strength that doesn't manifest necessarily in big ripped you know what I'm saying, is that these guys are the guys that pat you on the back and knock you out the damn room by accident.
Have you ever noticed like the like strongman competitions? They don't have 6 packs.
Oh, right.
Dude, they're built like a fucking tree trunk. And that's what these guys are built like, man.
My brother-in-law is like this. He's got that, and I've grown up with him my whole life. But like, he'll just be walking through, like, and he'll just like kind of bump into you by accident, and you're just like,
like a car.
Or he's just like, "Hey, buddy," and he's like, not even trying. You know, it's heavy-handed, dude. Heavy-handed. All right. Okay. What's next? Anything?
Pickle, did you block somebody on accident?
You want to take a call?
Well, if ERH is there, we'll if Pickle accidentally blocked you, we'll get you unblocked, brother. It was an accident. He didn't mean to. But yeah, we got but I have one more clip. And then that can end out the blueprint section. Let's play this last one just because we gotta talk about the man himself. You know what I'm saying? Xavier Liggett. Y'all better say it right. This is some of the traits that really made the Panthers fall in love with Xavier.
His blue trait for me is that contested catch, going up, getting the ball, coming down with it. He's a good athlete. He has good play speed. He can out-muscle almost any defender. I thought he burst off the line of scrimmage. He's a long strider. He builds up that speed quickly.
When he gets the ball in his hands, he's a threat to score a touchdown at any time.
He was our target. We really liked him, and we went and got him.
All right. The Panthers, that was their target, and that's who they went and got. Tony, I don't mind telling you, Xavier, that's my favorite player on the team, bro.
Yeah.
That's my bro. This guy.
What's going on, C3 Panthers Podcast? This is Xavier Liga here. I just want to shout y'all out and say what's going on, man.
What's going on, man? You bet your ass that's my favorite player on the team, Tony. Look, shout out to our boy Kev for making that happen. And yes, we may or may not have the email to his agent. We're going to try and get an interview here on C3, so please stay tuned for that. But I love it, Tony. I love his down home mentality. I love that he's a hard worker. I love that this guy has all the attributes that you want out of a number one wide receiver. Now, that doesn't mean I'm trying to have unreasonable expectations for his rookie year. I don't expect him to be a 1,000-yard receiver. But what I do think is this is a guy that wants to be here, that comes from humble beginnings, and he wants to come out here and, he knows it's time to put up or shut up. So I'm excited about it. I love what he's bringing to the team. And yes, Kevin, I'm a man of my word. I will be changing my profile picture to a Gamecocks logo for a week. I will do that. I told Kev I couldn't change my profile picture because Twitter takes your check mark away while they're like reviewing your profile pic. So I'm like, bro, let the video go viral, and then I promise I'm gonna let you embarrass me with the South Carolina logo. But shout out to Kev for making it happen, the Boy White Chocolate Espresso, and shout out to Xavier, man. I'm so excited about what he has the potential to be for the Panthers. Truly.
Where do we unblock people at? Like, how do you get that?
I was looking too. I'll find it. Yeah, ERH. It was just if you're still listening, we'll get you back. I have it up over here too, but
all right.
But that was all I have for
the blueprint.
Yeah, for the blueprint. Do you want to take some calls?
Yeah, let's take a call.
All right. Hey, man, the number is 252-228-5098. Come jump in them cat calls. This is where we hear from Panther fans everywhere, baby. Let's get
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
I don't hear anything if you're playing it.
You don't hear anything now?
Nope.
No.
What? Connected.
Permissions.
Nothing?
No, I don't hear it. Do you, CK?
I don't hear anything.
What the hell?
I don't know.
Connected.
You have it plugged in?
All right. Well, technical difficulties. Hold on. All right. Well, I guess we'll keep talking until I figure this. Why would it says that is right? That is right. What a mess we are tonight, guys. The mess on this show. Check my audio settings for the.
You want me to do another segment while we?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah. So, CK, I know this is something that you and I and Tony, we were talking about this a few weeks ago, wondering about what the lay of the land was going to be for Bank of America Stadium and fans attending training camp. So this was released today. We know that the rookies are reporting July 19th, but the veterans due on July 23rd. This is per Scott Fowler. Camp will be in Charlotte this year, right next to Bank of America Stadium, not Spartanburg. There will be seating for spectators, but the logistics of that are still to be announced.
So maybe that's not to me.
Yeah, I kind of figured he would say that, and I don't disagree. I don't know. What do you all take this to mean?
I mean, they're going to have a training camp that is going to have people there, so there's that. But I really don't know how if I think it's really going to be any meaningful stuff. You know what I mean? I'm worried that there's just going to be such limited seating that it's going to be just specific people that they would send to actually or give access to the actual tickets.
Like where it doesn't tell us anything.
I know. Well, I mean, and
like,
this isn't.
What do you mean, like right beside the stadium? What, on the practice fields?
This isn't. That's what I'm wondering. This is not an official announcement. To be fair,
right?
This is just Scott Fowler doing what he's reported is being the case. So we'll see. I just can't imagine. I can't figure out where they're going to have the amount of people that they would need. I mean, unless they're doing training camp in the stadium, which would be a big mistake in my mind.
They're not
Like,
doing that. Oh, you
right.
mean even when we're not there? Well, no, I mean, they're there all the time. They can't fuck the field. There's not enough space.
There's not enough. There's only one field right now anyway. And that's assuming that they've gotten that up and running.
Yeah. It is a interesting situation we're heading into. And it really did. Wofford wasn't that bad. You know, I mean, is that it's not far from Charlotte.
Right.
It sucks for me personally. It sucks for you, CK. Distance wise, yeah, you know, but if you're thinking about the Charlotte area, bringing in South Carolina into the fold, you know, and maybe that idea of South Carolina being a market that you need to secure is a thing of the past, right? Maybe that's a Jerry Richardson era thing, and it was necessary then, because like I know I have Washington fans that are still mad that the coverage that they don't get to watch the games anymore on Sunday, because when the Panthers came, they took the time slot. So people were split between Atlanta and Washington as NFL teams when you lived in the Carolinas, I guess, for a while. And so that two states mentality was meant to develop a fan base. And now I guess that the fan base exists, or the team has existed and had some sort of success. There's just no, you know, do you visually need to make South Carolina so much part of it? I don't know. But I thought, hey, there was something nice to it. And there was a reason he put it in Rock Hill. They were going to put it in Rock Hill too, right? So yeah, this is actually kind of just a result of the failure with the Rock Hill stuff. You know, is like this, none of this would have been a problem if that complex would have gotten developed, because wasn't there? Aren't they going to put hotels there and crap?
But also Rock Hill, like, it's such a misunderstanding of the situation to just blame David Tepper.
Oh, no. I'm not blaming that.
Right. But I'm saying a lot of people, like, when we're going to bring it up in a minute when we show this clip here that I showed you, CK, like, people bring up Rock Hill and they hold that against David Tepper. Dude, it took two to tango on that one. You know what I mean?
They
like,
overpromised, under-delivered.
Sure.
You know, and this is what happens when you have well, we'll get into it. Hey, let me check this out. Tell me if this works.
Not hearing anything.
Damn it. Oh, what the fuck? Nothing?
No.
Shove. Cody can download them, right?
Yeah, either one of us can download them to the audio and StreamYard. I'm trying to figure out.
Just don't understand why it's not working. It says it was connected. There was an extra step now that Google added. I do it every week like this, and there's no freaking problem. Well,
I'm trying to hold on. Let me see.
So we've got blocked users. We've got calls that go on. Don't forget, this is the show for the fans. Hey-yo.
Yeah, to all of our mods, just please be careful banning people, blocking people. Like, the only time we do that is if somebody is shooting direct insults at someone. Other than that, they can say whatever the fuck they want. But I understand it was probably just a mistake by Pickle. I'm still trying to figure out how to unblock them, and I can't. But all right, whatever. You want me to download cat calls?
Yeah, because obviously you can't hear this crap.
All right.
It says it's paired. Oh gosh, guys, I don't need this in my life right now. All right. Thank you for your patience, though, guys.
And I see your Twitter message, Pickle. I'll do it in just a second.
You need to start with the call. Fuck. You need to start with a call from 6:05 p.m. and it's probably Anthony from Charlotte, and it's not going to be in black or bolded.
Okay.
All right. So thanks for listening, guys. Been a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, actually. So this is a nice reprieve away from that, but also irritating that it's not going smoothly.
It's all right. The
But,
C3
all right.
community loves us no matter what.
Yeah. See, what else is going on? I'm gonna check Twitter, see if there's anything else. How about Boston swept? I mean, not swept. They blew them guys out of the building last night. Boston Celtics winning the
Blew
NBA
them guys. I thought
championship.
you were talking about Buffalo flag football, dude.
Oh God!
And, you know, I tell you what. Well, I said no. Since we're I'm downloading calls. Let's bring up another topic that we can sort of fill some dead air with, and this is real. The Buffalo Bills just announced that they are helping to launch the National Gay Flag Football League. And y'all have a field day. I'm going to get these calls.
All right. I don't think this is real. And CK Cody has assured me that he's looked it up.
It is very real, dude. I promise I wouldn't lie to you, dude.
The National Gay Football League. It can't, but why? What? So, I fell for, and the reason this CK I bring
Which
this
call did you want me to start with, by the way? What area code?
605 704. I'm gonna try one more time to see if this plays. I can hear it on mine. You guys can't hear this?
No. All right, we're good.
That sucks. I mean, I can hear it through my own fucking headphones, which is bananas, and microphone is on the right one. Broke. Let's see. Maybe if I change it to this one. Can you hear this? Did you hear the applause?
Nope.
Okay, so basically my soundboard is just not working at all with I'm glad my fucking mic is working. Holy cow. That wasn't the stupidest thing you ever heard? Nope, nothing. Oh, I found I found the problem is that somehow the whole soundboard's not being outputted to. If I just turn it off. Anyway, all right. So let's go back to so this National Gay Football League. CK, the reason I said this is I don't believe it, right? I'm sitting there one day recently. I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see this picture. Somebody holding up this mayonnaise jar or jar, you know, like a squeezable one. And it's rainbow colored mayonnaise. And it said Gayo instead of mayo. And I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker, dude. It said put some pride in your sandwich or something like that.
I saw that, dude. It was some AI shit. Right?
Yeah, and I immediately messaged my friend who hates mayonnaise so much, like he won't even get close to it. Kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like one of these people that hates mayonnaise so much. And I said, man, you've been saying this for years. And I got fooled by the internet. So, Cody, tell me, how do we not, like, what the hell is this?
So they are opening up a gay flag football league. That's it is what it sounds like.
And why didn't they put that in the title?
Well, Raw Alerts didn't put flag football, but the name of the league is NGFFL. So National Gay Flag Football League. So again, like my thing is, dude, if you're trying to do the DEI inclusivity thing, fine, bro. But like, why, if you're playing flag football, why can't gays play with all the other people playing flag football?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just it makes no sense to me. Like, you could put the spotlight on gay flag football players without having an own league for them. Like, keep in mind that the Olympics,
I don't think you even need to do that. I think you should let people do that if they want to celebrate their status. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you know, it's one thing to wear like a patch that says like pride or something because you are choosing to do that. It just seems like weird. Like when we go from a place where we're talking about inclusivity, but now it's like, what? So straight people can't play in this league.
Yeah, I don't.
They did it just so that they could have rainbow colored flag football. Like the flags that they pull are going to be.
Pats on the back, man. Pats
It's
on the
bananas. I just don't like. What in
All
the
right,
world?
I've got a couple uploads. Did you want to jump to them?
Yeah, let's do it.
The fuck?
Good
and
call.
of course the first one. Yeah, what the hell are we doing?
Good
All
call.
right, thanks.
Oh, there it is.
My C3 family. D, one more time for you. D
one more time.
talked about earlier about how this whole community is growing and how we're thriving and so forth. And it's a beautiful thing. He's one of the most humble people I've met. So I want to say, let's give our flowers to D's Hill Skills. That man puts in work. That man is that dude. That brand ambassador, not a better tag that you could give an individual. D's, I tip my hat to you. Panther Nation, we do through stuff. We've lost so many people. People have been going through things. I want to let you know. You can find me on X. You can find me wherever you see me. You need a friend.
Yeah, that's last week.
You need
I
somebody
thought it was,
you
man.
keep pounding. Reach out to me.
So that wasn't even from this week. But hey, shout out to D. I think this is a new one. Hold up.
Yo. What's up, C3? It's Anthony from Charlotte. Hope y'all boys are having a good Tuesday.
What up, man?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Just wanted to call in and say what's up.
I can hear you, yeah.
You know, training camp starting in July. That's cool. I like how it's actually going to be, right next to the stadium going forward. I think that's a lot easier for all of us. Spartanburg is, it's like 95 degrees out there, man. It's crazy. But yeah, just wanted to get some thoughts of the day, honestly, about what I'm thinking. And, I see some gotten into some arguments with some people on Twitter. And I just want to say, we have this motto here at C3. I mean, the Horsemen, you guys created this, obviously, about fan how you want to fan. And I think that's really been my mindset, too. So I just don't appreciate it when there's some people on Twitter, getting mad at other fans for being negative about the team. I mean, first off, why are you getting mad about them being negative about the team or not having as much optimism as yourself? They haven't proven anything to us. And as Cody likes to say, it's proven season every single year. And that's, just the mindset we have to stay with is like another year. You got to hope that they can actually prove something this year. And the second thing I want to say is I've seen some titles of other shows. I'm not going to name anything or call anyone out, but people saying what's the option after Bryce Young? It's almost like, we're writing this guy off so fast, and I get it if you don't believe in him from a certain perspective or don't have as much high hopes as other people, but can we just, see how a couple games go before we're already throwing around that slang? And, that's just really what I got to say. For me, I'm going to be very neutral this year, and I've stayed that way. If we're bad, I'm not really going to blame it on Dave Mouse or Dan Morgan because they were dealt a really bad hand. And I just think it's going to be a process. And, I get people, we've already been waiting. We've already been told through Matt Rule that there was a process and this and that. But I think that our dedication now is going to pay off big later at some point. You got to think, we've seen teams like Detroit made it out of the mud. Even Cleveland's a decent team now. it's bound to happen. Okay, it happens in every sport. You go through struggles. I think we just need to stick together and understand that it's going to be a process. And if that time is 5-7 years, man, we're still going to be here, even if we're talking negative about the team or whatever. So those are my thoughts of the day, man. Give me your thoughts. Anthony from Charlotte, keep motherfucking pounding. Yo. What's up, C3?
Did you hear that applause?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we heard the applause. Yeah.
All right. Let me check this out. Let me check this. Tell me if you can hear this.
Hey guys, it's John B. Jenkins here with another update on the European League of Football and your Panthers Wrocław. Panthers played the Frankfurt Galaxy this past weekend. Pardon me. Panthers played the Frankfurt Galaxy this past weekend and lost, leading them to a record of 1-3. Frankfurt Galaxy were 0-2 going into that game. I think they'd had a bye earlier. Frankfurt's got a good offense. They just haven't been able to put it together this year. And of course, as is tradition with any Panthers team you might root for, the bad team seems to come to play against our team. I've been looking at a lot of pundit coverage of our Panthers Wrocław. We seem to have a very potent offense. A lot of people think we've still got something that we can prove. Just need another week or so to get John Irbe, our new quarterback, get the playbook under his feet. Our running back, David Brzezowski, was once again phenomenal. The guy is, I think, now second in the league overall in rushing yards. For some reason, he still hasn't scored a touchdown, but that is coming. A.J. Wentland, our phenomenal linebacker, had another huge game. I think he had 17 tackles in this game. He, again, is also going up the charts as far as one of the top linebackers, if not the top linebacker in the league. From everything I am reading and from the clips that I saw, the play calling seems to not be very good. Apparently, we have a good left tackle. We have a good right tackle. We have a decent O-line.
Yeah, right. You should be back, bro.
But the Reddit posters that I'm reading, the pundits that I'm viewing on YouTube, they all talk about how our offensive coordinator probably needs to be fired. So that seems to be the boat we're in. We've got a great team. Offense is better than defense. The defense is still good. It's just we can't seem to get the plays executed, or maybe they're just taking too long to form. I mean, Stephen Duncan, the guy who was our quarterback for the first few weeks of the season, we cut him after last week, and he went on to get signed by the Madrid Bravos and have a phenomenal game. So I don't think it was quarterback play. I do think it might be offensive coordinator. We'll figure out what's going on with that as the season progresses. And I'll keep you guys updated. I don't have an update on any Polish fast food this week, but I did get my PJ Walker jersey. And as I posted on Twitter, I don't think I've ever looked more badass in my life.
Yeah.
And with that number, man, long-winded John B. Jenkins back here again. Just telling you more about my awesome PJ Walker jersey. It was awesome. Anyway, it was cool to get that and cool to share that with y'all. And let's keep rooting for our Panthers Wrocław, or the Wrocław Panthers. Let's keep rooting for our Carolina Panthers. Let's keep being awesome members of our C3 community. Love you guys. Love all y'all.
That is a badass
Keep pounding C3. Keep pounding Carolina Panthers. Keep pounding Wrocław.
Keep pounding. And here's our guy, John B., rocking that jersey, man. Shout out to John B., one of the C3 faithful.
Yeah, incredible. I'm so, if there's not a more worthy person to win that jersey on earth.
I'm saying, dude.
It would be like if I wanted to Cameron Artis Payne jersey.
Yeah, or a Demir Bird. Yeah.
I should just buy one. All right.
Man. Shout out to John B. We love you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Let's go to D.
Yo, my C3 family.
Dude.
Sanford, North Carolina, a.k.a. C3D Money, podcast point guard Derek Lamont. Yo, shout out to the great Tony Dunn, the homie Cody Lack, the CK, Code Dizzle, Panther Pickle, shut the hell up. To these ill skills, the man with all the skills, and the whole Jake the Snake, Cody, the whole Legion. I know y'all saw the blueprint. I know you saw the blueprint. Man, I know we can't get hype off of hype tapes, but I'm hype. Because I'm loving the little things. I'm loving the cohesion between the front office members and the coaching staff and the players and the camaraderie and the dogs. And what makes me really feel good, and I was saying this in the spaces earlier, we got dogs that want to be here. We got guys that want to wear that jersey. We got guys that want to put that helmet on. We got rookies that are hungry, a coaching staff and a front office that have a plan. And they actually give you a detailed outlook in what they're thinking and the decisions that they're making. And that's a beautiful thing. We haven't had that in a very long time. But we're working, and I'm seeing them talking and communicating on the field. Josie Jewell and Shaq talking back and forth, telling each other's assignments. Those are those little incremental things that then become medium things, that then become major things, and help you in learning how to win and how to play winning football. We're building a culture, people. And like I said on the spaces, this is the genesis. I can't wait to get to the revelation. We're here now, people. We're coming. We got great leadership. We got dogs. We're going to continue to acquire dogs. And that's what we need. C3 family, if there was any time that you needed a little hope, watch the blueprint. Let it give you a little hope. Don't let it blow your mind to where you're disappointed and so forth. But if you need any reason to at least peek in on these Carolina Panthers, the blueprint's the ticket. All right. Also on that, shout out to the longest running and dopest Panther podcast in all of these YouTube streets. I love every single one of you. I hope y'all are having a great, great evening. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to enjoy this show. Keep
pounding, baby.
Heck
Appreciate you, D-Money. And
Great
by the
stuff.
way, shout out to Tony's mom, who says C3 community will grow with perseverance and courage. Love you, Mama Dunn.
All right. Next call.
What up, guys? Listening to the show live. This is Scott from Winston-Salem. Boy, Icky, man, he was in a washing machine. He's just getting turned around all kinds of things. I bet if somebody threw some towels beside him and some wash rags, he could clean them as much as he was getting turned. However, my thought is, why don't we put Ian in the backfield as an offset fullback, or put Tommy Trimble in the backfield, switch him out every 2 or 3 plays, and that way Icky has a confidence that if he gets beat, then he has an extra blocker instead of using a running back, because a running back could still flank out and catch, those 5-yard, 6-yard passes out of the backfield. But you got an extra blocker in the back and use the tight ends as a fullback. I don't know if that's feasible, but if we run that 2 tight end set, why not try it? I think anything can be tried as long as it works. And if it doesn't work, then Icky's on the island. He better shape up or ship out. That's sort of the way I see it. As far as Leggett goes, hey, I'm a Cody. I don't think he's going to be a 1,000-yarder, but I do think he's going to have at least 500 and probably at least 5 or 6 touchdowns, just by the way he looks and the way he trains. So he's all about the football right now. So I like his down-home attitude, like you guys do. I think he's going to be a good player. So let me know what your thoughts are about maybe putting Ian or Tommy in a backfield as an offset fullback to possibly help Icky. And again, it's just an opinion. I don't know if they'll ever do that or not. I've seen it done in the past, but especially Brad Hoover, when he was here, man, dude, he was sort of that rock, and he always played that left side. He was always offset left side behind that left tackle. But very rarely did he switch to right, or did he line up straight in a pistol. So anyway, just my thoughts. What say you guys? Good show as always, and keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Great call.
A lot of people have sort of toyed with the idea of Tommy Trimble being sort of like that halfback, that fullback role. And again, if you're talking about doing it just because he might not be able to hold up, then
he
I
shouldn't be the
don't.
starter.
Yeah, then I
It
don't love
limits
it.
you too much.
Right. But at the same time, if that's what needs to be done, then it should be done. But again, I want our tight ends to be tight ends. Like, I'm ready to see Tommy Tremble be able to block on the line and be a real receiving threat like we always wanted him to evolve into. So I'm not a fan of making sure that whenever we have a full back end or whenever we have a tight end in the game, that teams know, okay, well, they're going to shade him over to the left side. It sort of renders you obsolete based on whatever formation they see you putting out on the field. So I don't love that. But again, if that's what needs to be done, I'm hoping that we have the coaching staff that knows that, can see that, and could pull the trigger on doing something like that. I hope we have a coaching staff that can pull the trigger on putting anyone in at left tackle if it means that he is struggling. I don't want them to leave him out there on an island if he's not able to hold up on his own.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think too, schematically, is like always having to put somebody there on the left side just shows your tips your hand so much all the time and what you're doing and how you it just is limiting. And then the other thing is that if you have to do that with the top 10 pick, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? You just it's just not. It might be something that you can do in the short term in situations like in games, in a game where he's, they're taking advantage or something like that. But that can't be a long term. Yeah. And generally, I feel like it's also just strange to line up a running back on the left side of the quarterback because the handoff naturally goes to the right, and then he's got to run across the face of the runner. It just doesn't seem natural. So I hope we don't have to get to that point. All right. Here, Pickle Apology coming up.
Hey, listen, this is Panther Pickle. Shout out to EMH or ERH D-Max 4L. That was my mistake, my friend. I do apologize. I was trying to delete a message that I screwed up. Excuse me. And then I accidentally deleted your message, and I was trying to fix that and ended up hiding you, and I don't know how. My apologies, sir. Keep pounding, brother. I'm sure they'll get that fixed out.
Yeah, and we already did. ERH. Dude, ERH was blocked. So was Trill 1. I hadn't seen Trill in the chat room forever. I'm like, okay. So, yeah. Shout out to ERH.
Where'd
Just
you
a
find
mistake.
it?
So I actually went past it. I had to go back and look at it again. But you just go down to settings, go to community, and then go to there's a tab that has it's hidden users.
Okay.
It's like
I was looking, I didn't see their names up
there. And then there's a ton of people that we blocked and banned over the like all the porn ones and shit. But ERH is good, Trill 1 is good. And if that ever happens again, also just message me or Tony on Twitter, and we'll see your message and we'll make sure it gets sorted out.
Right. Okay. Those are all the calls right now.
Really? I feel like I downloaded like 9 of them.
No, that's all of them. I don't think. I think that's it. One, we played that. Yeah, that is.
Well, I think we've got the disadvantage of the blueprint dropping so late. There really is not a lot of news that took place over the past week. I think this next month leading up to training camp is going to be about the slowest that we've seen in a minute. So
yeah. So okay, let's y'all ready to talk about this stadium deal that we were PK was sort of that we were discussing before the show. Okay, so just to give everybody an update on the state of things as they are. All right, statement from the Panthers president, Christy Coleman, on Charlotte City Council unanimously passing the Fieldhouse practice facility project. So again, the practice field, this is a go. This is what's going to be there for Panther fans when we go to training camp this year. How it looks, that'll be determined. But from there, from Christy Coleman, we are pleased that the Charlotte City Council voted to approve the rezoning proposal for the Carolina Panthers' new practice fields and field house. Our team is grateful for the local community's input and meetings throughout this process, as well as the rezoning committee's thoughtful evaluation of the proposal. We look forward to advancing this project and hosting training camp in the heart of Charlotte starting next month. Now, we were wondering what this would look like, how it would be, and we still don't really know all the details. But Tony, CK, as of right now, they're saying that this is a go. It's going to look something like these mock-ups that we have in front of us, and that Panther fans are going to be allowed to attend.
All right. Well, good. Maybe they'll let us walk. Maybe they'll put some temporary fencing around the fields where you can go around to where that left side and some different things. So we saw some of this. We had a show about a month ago, I feel like, on the mock-ups and different things. Yeah. But the real story is this is the proposed upgrades to the stadium revisions. Now, a couple of things to put in context of this is that David Tepper's been calling for a new stadium, it seems like, from the second day he was on the job as owner. Ideally, we've seen that he's wanted to make Bank of America to maximize the revenue stream by hosting more and more events there, from concerts. And remember, he brought music to Charlotte. Mm-hmm. So this has all been in the works. Now, the real question is where are you going to be able to build a new stadium in the heart of Charlotte, where you're going to have to take it outside of Charlotte? A lot of people talked about the parking. They was wondering if you needed to, and it really felt like the momentum was going towards him calling for a new stadium. But now it has appeared that they've come to a consensus right now that a revision, a $1.2 billion revision, could at least get you by for another 15 years.
Oh, yeah. So, by the way, yesterday and today, they were doing the Charlotte City Council meetings about this very subject. By the way, ERH back in the chat. He says it's all good. Appreciate you. Tony, this is from one of the local news stations. We'll probably get dinged for it, and I don't even care. All right. Because we have to watch how stupid this is. I showed this to CK before we started the show. Bro, listen to how dumb this shit is. So this woman goes viral, right? She has a sign that says David Tepper has $20 billion net worth. Don't forget what he did to wrong. Right. So there's nuance to this. Let's watch the clip and we'll discuss.
How do we avoid the failed partnership that Tepper and Rock Hill experienced? And before that, the experience with the Eastland Mall redevelopment.
While others say, while the plans highlight a mixed-use space for everyone,
I personally can't afford to go to any events at the Panthers Stadium.
They question, is it really for everyone?
Beyonce thought the stadium was okay. If it's good enough for Beyonce, it's good enough for half the city.
Oh my God, dude. That okay. To
it's
me,
good
that
enough
is
for the single ladies.
Yeah, for all the single ladies, bro. But my thing is how dumb of a statement that is. Because
it was fine until you got to the Beyonce part.
Yeah, like look, Beyonce Knowles was paid handsomely to play at that stadium, and she is a multi-millionaire. The upgrades are not for Beyonce. Right. The upgrades are for all the Beyonce fans that are going to shell out money to go see a Beyonce concert. Like, it's absolutely absurd to me that ends up being the argument. Look, I do think, and I don't want to dismiss it, there is merit to the idea that, hey, this guy is worth $20 billion. Why are we having to pay anything at all? But I want everyone to realize that the money that we're talking about, we are talking about money that is only allowed to go to tourism and hospitality. It can't go to homeless shelters. It can't go to the Charlotte Mecklenburg school system. It can't go towards food and water insecurity. It can't go towards any of that. So what other renovation in Charlotte is more worthy of it than this and the stadium? And also considering that there's already a report saying that Charlotte is supposed to have $1 billion surplus next year. So I really just don't understand it. I think that was a terrible argument that she made at that hearing. And by the way, Muhsin Mohammed also spoke at that same meeting in favor of the proposal, and local business owners from the Valhalla restaurant, and he owns one other one. He also spoke up in favor of the deal for the Charlotte area. So I'm in favor of it. I think any other deal where you have an owner willing to shell out a majority of the money, like that's the best that you're ever going to get in this current society that we live in and the way the NFL is ran right now. Like, we know how the world works. You know what I mean? This is how it was going to go.
CK?
It's all, yeah. I mean, I personally am not a person who subscribes to the idea of this dude has $20 billion. We're going to let him pay for it. I understand the thought and I understand why you feel that way, but I also understand how billionaires aren't billionaires by giving away their money, right? And let's be real, there is a mutual benefit to Bank of America, to Charlotte, and to the Bank of America fans, anybody who's going to be coming to see a concert there or anything along those lines, that these upgrades really benefit. So there is a very real benefit to the city. And here's the other thing. The idea that he should pay for this is, there are other cities that will be willing to pay 100% of a stadium building fee to bring an NFL franchise to their city, regardless of how good that franchise is or not. There are going to be up and coming cities, Austin, Texas, that are going to be looking for an NFL team that will be willing to move there, and they will foot the bill 100%, no matter whether your billionaire owner is there or not. I promise you. So there, as much as there is absolutely an issue with, or there is, people can have an issue with people, or the city giving finances to a billionaire to renovate their stadium. This is a business for the Charlotte City and for the Bank of America Stadium. That is why I'm stating that. So this is a moneymaker in about 1,000 different ways. Not only taxes, not only, I was telling Cody, if you guys haven't driven to a game day anytime recently, just look at how many people take that fast pass now, just to be able to bypass the stadium traffic, not just regular traffic, the stadium traffic. They're making probably hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just off of that alone. Now you talk about hotels that people are coming to stay in. You're talking about the alcohol sales. You're talking about all of this stuff. This is not anything that the city would have some benefit, but this is a giant help along with the different events they're bringing. I think this is a win-win for everybody. And to say that the city shouldn't foot the bill, they're not footing the entire bill. That's just not the reality that they're living in.
This is a story on Pro Football Talk by Mike Florio. He starts the title of it is "As Charlotte Ponders Free Money for David Tepper, the or else is looming." He starts the story with this: on the owners most likely to pack and leave if they don't get what they want scale, David Tepper would be at the very top. That's an important point for the powers that be to keep in the mind of Charlotte City Council prepares to take this up later in the month. Scott Fowler, I like this, a noted Tepper agitator, makes the case for giving Tepper what he wants. He says the reason is simple. If Charlotte doesn't, the Panthers will leave along with Charlotte FC MLS, the team he owns, and then Charlotte would try to get another team to replace the Panthers at a cost far in excess of the $650 million Tepper wants. Now, there are some studies, CK, that suggest that the owners of these teams embellish or oversell the financial benefits that a pro sports team brings to an area. Now, I'm sure for every study that shows that, there are 10 studies that show the otherwise, right? So it's like, here, I've seen studies that say this is, it's like, so there's not really consensus on that.
Right.
I think this is one of the things you could do is even if you were going to argue that it was it was like a financial wash or maybe even a loss to the taxpayer. Say we just took the most pessimistic view of what it does to the economy and that they've misled us. Sometimes I think it's okay to spend money on what you want rather than what is always, how many things do you buy in your life that aren't money makers for you, but you just want it?
Yeah.
Does the city of Charlotte, is it a more attractive destination with pro football sports than without? Right. And so I think that like, even if we just tried to take entirely the monetary thing out of it, is that Charlotte is known for banking, but it's a city that like it's becoming a metropolitan. It makes these types of things make it a city, I think.
Absolutely. Charlotte is the fastest growing city in the Southeast. So I think that also bears in mind when you're talking about having an NFL team lending to the legitimacy of that metropolitan area. So by the way, here's Muhsin Mohammed speaking in favor of the proposal. But also, this is the one I was saying earlier. Tony, I've also heard those same reports that owners embellish how much it does to the area. But then again, when I have situations like this, like Kristen Peterson, who's the owner of Valhalla and Hooligans, two very popular joints right in the heart of Uptown, he says that he's in favor of the stadium deal. He says the stadium events provide a boost to his businesses, but he asked the city for more support in the managing of Brevard Court.
What's that? What's Brevard Court?
It's like, it might be on this map right here. No, it's like near to Valhalla. I don't know if you know where Valhalla is. I'm so bad with street names, but they're also talking about building this like a bicycle lane, which they already have a few of them in Charlotte, but like a major like traffic lane for bikes and commuters and stuff like that. I'm not sure entirely about the Brevard thing, as I'd have to look it up. But my whole point is that if local business owners that are actually in Charlotte are telling you that this is going to be a boon for their business and that it's a good thing, well, I'm entitled to believe them since they're the ones who have been putting their money where their mouth is in the city for years.
Well, you have to also look at what type of businesses are speaking up here, right? I mean, you're talking about in the service industry. It's not like Goodyear Tire is making more money on more oil changes and things like that. So, look, I think this is that the idea, is Charlotte a cooler city with the Carolina Panthers than not? And I think it is. And I think that that's what the taxpayer ultimately has to think about a little bit is, and again, I don't know if as far as I've been able to gather, that the tax burden has fallen to the hotel, and that like there's certain taxes that are not like property taxes for Charlotte residents is what's paying for this. So I'm not entirely sure where the revenue stream goes. Now I do think there is a wild. Now here is the counter argument for it. Is that obviously David Tepper is a 20 billionaire, a 21 billionaire, is a card carrying capitalist, right? You would think. It is interesting that he is. That's what it just shows, that this is all capitalism is more complicated than just the free market.
Right.
And is that look is there are degrees of capitalism, there are degrees of socialism, And so I know people can yell socialist and it makes you all mad and, you know, it sounds terrible, but you are a socialist if you think public schools are good.
Yeah, and if you
Right,
think
so
trash,
right,
roads,
yeah,
police officers.
yeah.
How
If you
about this?
support the men in blue,
Yeah. How about the weekend? You like that shit, don't you? Okay. Well, people had to fight for that at one point. But again, man, like, I wanted to add an update. This was in that same thread. In addition to the field house and the practice facility, a few changes that were made to the project. There will be a public art feature. So not
Okay.
sure what that entails. There will be a 17-foot pedestrian path to accommodate Uptown Cycle Link project. I kind of feel like that's what that guy was talking about, but I'm not sure. And then the South Cedar Street sidewalk will be realigned and restripped. So just some updates.
Okay.
And
Well,
then,
I think I think CK. I thought the moving the team was going to be seemed extreme. I think this is less about if you're going to give Tepper money, but how much money you give him.
Right.
You know, I think that if you could now, and just to remind people of the Rock Hill City Council or the problems there and where that woman was misleading a bit when she talked about that, the Rock Hill City Council approved things that they couldn't deliver on. Right, that they did it because it sounded cool. It got them votes at the time, but they didn't have the money in this county to meet what they promised. And David Tepper, they kind of tried the other hardball, right? Like David Tepper could hardball Charlotte by threatening to leave. They tried to say, well, hey, you already started building. And they tried to hardball him to continue the project. And he was like, screw this. I'll blow this sucker up. Right? Which they literally blew up while we were there for training camp last year. Because CK and I were going to drive out there and get some drone footage and make it look like The Last of Us or something. And somebody told us they blew that up last weekend. Yeah, it was Nick Carboni who said.
Hey, by the way, these are the splits between the city's investment and Tepper Sports and Entertainment investment. Give me 1 second. Cover me for a minute.
Okay, so $650 million city investment, funds for facility improvements, city funds capped at $650 million. $688 million given by Tepper. I think that's cool that you at least got the owner do a little bit more.
Well, the thing is, like, if you look at the details on that, that's talking about, you know, maintenance through 2045.
Oh, his numbers?
Yeah, it's like capital improvements.
So it's really not. Oh gosh.
So I mean, the majority of the actual costs of the improvements are going to definitely fall on
that $650 million.
Right.
So it's not really a 1.2 billion.
Right.
Well, now that's a kind of a mislead right there. A little sleight of hand there. It's like, hey, I'm helping pay for this. Nah, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep the lights on for the next 20 years. Now, the question is what, 2045? So that's 20 years. What I think they really need to, if I was the city of Charlotte or whoever these, you know, is that I would be really trying to put some strong language about how quickly this could be renegotiated. You know, can you threaten to leave? Like, is that 2045 number a hard number? Like the Carolina Panthers have to be there through 2045 or Tepper has to pay back $650 million plus interest. That's what I would say. You know, is those are the details that I think you'll probably negotiate more so than the actual if you should do it or not. So I don't know. Unless you look, is Kevin in the chat doesn't think it's a great idea. I think the other thing about it is, but I think the people like Kevin who say that it's not a great idea don't think that having the Carolina Panthers in their city is a bad thing. It's just that it's more of the idea that you're asking the taxpayer to foot a bill for someone who has the money to invest it and is going to primarily make more money than anybody on it. You know, is David Tepper will make more money off of this than Masim Muhammad will.
Sure, but I guarantee you that the revenue the city brings in, regardless of whether we look at it from that perspective or not, I think that they're going to make more money back off of this. I know that we can cite studies, but I think that those studies are also made by people who are looking for the wrong things, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because there's just no shot in hell when you think about the long-term benefit of this over the next 20 years of making sure that the Panthers are there in that city. It's only an upside for the city in my mind.
And really, I know this is going to sound bananas when I say it, but $650 million doesn't sound like a lot anymore.
Also, let's be real about something.
It really doesn't.
You know, like in this day and age, that feels like, like for Charlotte, if this was Greenville, North Carolina, yes, for $650 million, I'd go, oh, that's pretty bananas. But
in addition, I think it's important we at least acknowledge this. People are talking about David Tepper having a net worth of $20 billion. I promise you, Charlotte's worth overall is much larger than that. If they're at a $1 billion surplus this year. So to pretend like the only people that have money are David Tepper, you're fooling yourself. Charlotte has a tremendous amount of money just as well. You and I both know that. And anybody who tries to deny that or tries to make the argument poor billionaire, that's also the city.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just
the Panthers are part of that being the case.
It just stinks when I guess the problem too is the timing of this. Sure. And not that it's just like when inflation is high, when people are ultimately struggling, the idea of someone who is not struggling getting help just has a sour taste to it.
Yeah, but this is America. You know what I'm saying? Like, this
I mean, it's like this is actually not the thing that
right.
This at the top of the list of my bother.
Right. It's not even that like I disagree with the objections. I'm not saying that Kevin is wrong, but like I also understand how the world works. And it's like now you're talking politics. Like if you have an issue with how this is set up, and then you have an issue with the tax code in Charlotte, and maybe you should get involved in a political way to see about changing that. But like this, you're not changing anything. You're not giving any money to other people who need it. So it's just like it's kind of pointless, Like,
I wonder though if maybe Charlotte, the city of Charlotte, just feels too much of the burden. Is there any way that maybe the larger area could share in some of that obligation a little bit? The greater Charlotte area, because like I always, when you say, "Hey, how big is this city?" and you only talk about the actual city, but then you just think about like, "Hey, man, like." That right over there is in the city. It's just not on the map in the city. So I don't know if maybe the county should be involved a little bit more. But then people would say, should the state be involved? And then I'm over here in Eastern North Carolina going, hey. Well, I guess it does help me with the podcast.
Yeah. Again, it's all material, baby. All content.
Yeah, this is just nothing new. It's probably better than what Buffalo did. Like, didn't they pay like didn't they have like a $1 trillion, like some $3 billion stadium they built or something recently that they approved? And it was just like right after they had a winning season, they were like, we're going to build this, and the taxpayer, they were like, and now we're going to put a gay flag football league in there. Wait until Cody, when you said it, dude, I about died.
Dude,
wait until someone accidentally mispronounces that.
I know, dude. Dude, all you have to do is remove one letter, and it's wild. But Tony, literally, when I clicked on it, I literally opened up a new tab
and
typed in "gay football league."
Yeah,
and it was the first thing that comes up related to the Buffalo Bills and everything, dude. What can you say, man?
I can tell you something. It's something I said to a person on Twitter today. There's a thing is trying too hard.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
oh, wait until you have the tax debate about an expansion. We've got to build a new practice field for the flag football team in Buffalo. Needs to be some. Oh, wait until that debate comes up. All right. Is there what else do we got in the show? I'm gonna check the news too.
In the show. Okay, so how about this? There was another signing. I know you won't give a shit, Tony, but it is news. On the wide receiver depth, the Panthers are signing Dawood Davis, former Dolphins wideout who was in the All-UFL this spring after leading Memphis Showboats in receiving. Shout out to Colby, who says, "Laugh if you want."
Tweet is bananas.
I know. Shout out to Colby. He says, "Laugh if you want, but I'll take him over Prada Terrence any day." You know, he's out here with his Gucci bags and his Prada belts.
Oh, Terrence. Oh, okay. I was like,
what did you think he meant?
I was like, I don't know who that player is either. Prada Terrence. I didn't know he was on the team. So look, is Dawood Davis, Double D, former Dolphins wideouts who never played, probably. Interesting. All right. What else? Anything?
Really not too much. I think we covered just about everything. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Oh, no. We have a few more. Let's talk about our man, Greg Olson. So 2 news bits relating to Greg. So me and CK were talking about this before the show. A lot of people are upset that Greg is being replaced by Tom Brady, but do not worry. My man is living his best life, and his talent and skills in the commentating department have not gone unnoticed, because the new Madden NFL 25 will have a total of 3 different commentary teams, which, by the way, awesome. I love when you're playing. I hate when you're playing Madden and you hear the
same
stuff. Yeah, the same shit all the time. So I love this. But part of the trio is indeed Mike Tirico and Greg Olson, who will be a part of the broadcasting crew. And I agree with what CK said. I'll let him elaborate more, but I think this is a sign to come for Greg and his prospects on being a commentator in the future.
Yeah, I agree. I think this just tells us that he's sought after, and I think you're going to see him on a big network next week or next year. They may not announce it right now, and it may not be next year. It may be the year after, but he is going to be a big name on one of these networks, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be a stark difference between him and Tom Brady as far as quality on that. Somebody said it on Twitter the other day, or yes, maybe even today. Tom Brady is going to have to be generational to make this a smart move for Fox.
I don't know about that. Is Tom Brady is the most known name in football.
Sure.
Right.
But are people watching Fox more because Tom Brady's on there?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure what the financial benefit of getting some big name person to do your coverage is.
Because
we're going to watch the football anyway. And so if you could find someone who is cheaper and could deliver a similar product, I don't know if I would tune into a game. Like if I had a choice between CBS and Fox, if I would pick one because of who the commentators are, right? I generally am going to watch the game and regardless of the commentators. So the question is, there an overpay? Is this how some of these TV networks are probably pricing themselves out of some of the markets, and running their own business poorly? But Tom Brady has this Monday. He goes on Westwood One, which is a syndicated radio sports show, and it's either on Sunday. It's on Monday nights when he's not playing Monday Night Football, and he is good. You know what I'm saying? He's articulate. He is got a person. I think some of us just are loving Greg to love Greg a little bit. Greg was very good at it, though. He was very good at it. Yeah. He was very, very good at it. And, but Fox had promised Tom Brady this money even before Greg started. So I did hear this. I heard one of these people in this 6 panels, and it wasn't the woman on the radio talking about the recordings they did for Madden. And he's like, I've said every possible scenario in football, ones that I didn't even think could be possible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
they've talked about it. So I think the guy who said that was Charles Davis, the guy at the top right. Yeah, he's always the one that's normally been the voice. And they have to go over so many different scenarios.
Like it's 3rd and 38. Fumble for a loss.
But you also have to say the name of the teams and like say information that's relevant to the team that you're playing as or playing against.
Like they're punting on first down.
Yeah, dudes like Joe Rogan, he does the commentary for UFC. He talks about the amount of time that it takes to record all the stuff for the commentary game aspect. Yeah, dude, it takes like days at a time.
Oh, I'm sure it takes them like a month of just reading into a microphone.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope they can do it at their home.
Yeah, right. I think they can now. If you have a professional setup, yeah, you can do that. But the last question or the last topic of tonight pertaining to Greg Olsen. Shout out to Michael Rimmer on Twitter. He was the one who posted this. And I figured it would be a good question for the show. This is a graphic that says all-time tight end career receiving yard leaders. And Greg Olsen is ranked number 7 on this list, ahead of 2 Hall of Fame players in Ozzie Newsome and Jackie Smith. We talk a lot about Cam Newton. Is Cam Newton a Hall of Famer? Is Steve Smith a Hall of Famer? Is Luke Kuechly a Hall of Famer? But we don't often talk enough about Greg Olsen, and I figured this would be a good combo to end the pod tonight.
Ooh.
Is Greg Olsen deserving of being a Hall of Famer?
God, I don't know. I mean,
yes, he broke records.
Before 1,000-yard seasons, is that what it was?
Yeah, the three back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He's on that list of top 10 all-time receiving yards, and that was only with, in all honesty, 4 or 5 years of his career. That was the majority.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do anything in Chicago. Well, I won't say anything, but yeah, it's like he came here and he played from 2012. No, maybe he came in 2011 with Cam in his rookie year because we had the 2 tight ends.
Yeah, but they had with Jeremy Shockey. That was the primary guy.
Yeah, but it was both Olsen and Shockey. We ran that 2 tight end set. And he played from 2012 to what, 2018?
Something like that.
And that, it was Cam and him. I think the other thing is, if you look at some of this, is and maybe every one of these guys, except for Tony Gonzalez, which is bananas. Or maybe, I guess, did Tony have had a quarterback that helped elevate their career, right? Look at Rob Gronkowski. He's with Tom Brady. Shannon Sharp was with John Elway, right? Maybe.
Yeah, he was with John Elway.
Travis Kelce is all with Patrick Mahomes. Antonio Gates had Phillip Rivers. Jason Witten, Tony Romo. So maybe it's almost like Witten and Tony Gonzalez are the most interesting names on this to me, because they didn't have a quarterback that was balling also, and so that's interesting. Hey, we need a Hall of Famer.
Can I just say that I'm just biased? Like, I don't care if it's reasonable or not. Fuck yeah, it needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
There you go.
I love Greg Olsen.
Third leg Greg, put him in the Hall of Fame.
And dude, it's like, we were talking during the free for all. Like, we did, everyone did their own Mount Rushmore of Panthers Mount Rushmore. Like, who is in your personal, your personal top 4? And a thing that I noticed is so much of it is, when did you become a Panther fan? Like, who were the big time players that were on the team when you fell in love with the team? And all of for me, it was 2011. So Greg Olsen is a part of that. Like, we
also had a star group we had a core of players that were really good at their positions, that were charismatic. Their names were well known. You know what I'm saying? Is like, I mean, if you just think Cam Newton, Greg Olson, Steve Smith, Luke Kuechly, there's probably one more missing in there. And these guys were just the symbol. They were the team. And then all the other players we put around them. And we just haven't, you know, and it was really kind of a cool moment to have, Thomas Davis. You know, and it was a cool moment. Like, we don't really have that feeling right now of players that are Panthers that represent our team. And we just need it to start with Bryce Young. But I don't have a single player in here other than on this team that I'm like emotionally attached to.
Right. I mean, I think like Legat's probably the closest we have to an emotional.
He's going to get there. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be fun. We loved it like we love it. But some of it's going to come with success. Yeah. But I think part of it came with the Panthers. It wasn't just success. There were players who had year in and year out success.
Yeah, I mean, when's the last time we didn't have players that we felt worthy of a jersey purchase?
Right. I don't know whose I would buy right now.
You know, it's that's the part. I mean, I think right now you would kind of be just gambling at who you're going to buy a jersey for.
Yeah. But you could have just gone and got Kuechly's jersey. You could have gone and got Olson's jersey. You could have gone and got Thomas Davis, Cam Newton.
The best option you have now is Derek Brown. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that there's another option that you would be able to say with confidence that, oh man, this is a jersey that I'm going to look back on and be like, man, I'm so glad I got that jersey, man.
Yeah, and it's not just because the team is stunk.
Right.
It's also because there has not been a player who has been consistently good on those bad teams.
Right.
You know, Steve Smith was still good on those bad teams. Right? When the Panthers went 9 and, you know, when they went 9, Kuechly was still good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, like, the best is you got J.C. Horn, the star that you want to believe in, but he hasn't been good. So it's tough. It's tough. And we're going to have, there's like two things have to coincide. We need players that stick around consistently that are going to be good year over year. And the Panthers need to get better as a team before we can build that. And it's almost like we just didn't know. You know, and when you were in 2015, watching that 2015 team, that was what was so cool about it. You didn't even know how cool it was. Right? Like, we were, for the first 10 weeks of the season, we were the worst, best team in the history of football.
Yeah.
Remember that? It's like, is this and it was just like a roll. It was a ride. It's like going to a movie that you know nothing about and it being awesome. And you're just like, you're along for the ride. It was fun. It was fun.
It was.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah, that's all I have for the show tonight. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for your time and attention tonight. Mom, I'm gonna need you to leave for this section though of the show. You gotta go. You gotta leave for this section, Mom. Do not stick around for the ice up segment.
You gotta let us know in chat that you're not there anymore.
Yes, if she doesn't respond, then that means she's there. I mean, if she does respond, that does mean she's there.
I know.
So, all right. So, thank you, everybody. Thanks for getting around, hanging around through all the difficulties through the night and the troubles. We appreciate your time, attention, energy. Thanks. Big shout out to Kevin Boshoven for getting Xavier Legat to shout out the C3 Panthers podcast. I love how he said the full name. He didn't say C3. He said the full. That's perfect.
C3 Panthers Podcast, baby.
Oh, man. It was nice.
Gotta love it.
And that's our guy. I think that's who we're all going to rally around now, not only as a show, but maybe the building of that maybe he's the start. Because if he turns out good, then that builds Bryce up, and then we get Bryce and him, and then we add, you know what I'm saying? And then you just add one more person to the mix and one more person to the mix, and before just you know it,
build and build and build.
Yeah. So thank you, Kevin, for that. Oh, also thank you. Just don't care. He just gifted 5 C3 Panther Podcast memberships. Don't forget for $1.99 you can continue to build the show. I was thinking about this and how important this is to us. There is my friend at work loves podcasts. Look at this. Mr. Strats just gifted 10 more memberships. You're the bomb. You guys are so great. Great people at a great time. My friend at work, she listens to this like parenting podcast, and she goes, this lady does not take, she doesn't do ads. She doesn't do ads, stuff like this. And she raises all her money to monetize the podcast through like community support. And I would shout this out, guys, is that our community helps us probably by 50% of our revenue that we get to use to keep this podcast running comes from the people rather than the YouTube ads. And it is through these memberships for just $1.99. I'm not gonna raise the price you know what I'm saying? Is I like the idea of this just being everybody give more people give a little than a few people giving a lot. So thank you, Mr. Strats and Just Don't Care for actually caring. And even though it's just $1.99 to join, they just gave a giant gift to a lot of people. Look at this. Just Don't Care does care. 21 months?
For 21 months?
That might be like just the whole time we've done it almost. Right. Nah, it's maybe close to it.
And you see through your strong, man. Whenever you see that video that we posted with Xavier League hat, whenever you see those spaces going wild, dude, every free-for-all has been lit. Dude, again, Tony, you know, we may not have the biggest numbers out of any Panthers podcast, but I will be damned if we do not have the best Panthers community out of any podcast, man. I'll take C3 over anybody any day. I love you, boys. I mean,
all right, how about this? Thank you. Just Don't Care. Great point. We need some new badges. What we'll do is this. If you guys are listening still, maybe in 2 weeks from now, let's kind of all start fielding some ideas of what some cool badges. So be thinking about what a cool badge would be that you would like added, and I can make it happen, right? And so I'd like to have some suggestions. I know we're going to go Bryce. We could probably go Dave Canales. Dan Morgan's going to be one. You know, maybe we could get the lady with the $21 billion sign at the city council member. Maybe we'll make her a badge. All right. Okay, Cody, let's do the longest running segment on the longest running Panthers podcast. It's the Ice Up segment.
Oh, let's do it. Time to ice fools up.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
This is the time that we pay homage to Steve Smith, where we tell someone to ice up, toughen up to get it together. Everyone is fair game. Moms have to leave the room, though, for tonight's Ice Up segments. But this is where we can step outside the bounds of football, even though it's our podcast, we do whatever we want. But this is where we have a little fun, usually talking about the most ridiculous things we've seen on the internet in the last couple of days. All right, Cody, I've got 2.
I have 3.
Okay. CK?
However you want to do it.
I don't have any. I'm just here to enjoy.
Okay. Cody, you go, then I'll go, then you go, then I'll go, then you finish.
All right.
All right.
So listen, I just imagine, look, shout out my guy Monty. We make fun of each other. We go back and forth. He annoys me. I annoy him. Whatever. It's all good. But to me, I'm like, oh, this is probably how Monty warms up when he's getting ready to make a post about Bryce.
Did you send that to him?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw this the other day. Look, he's wearing the sunglasses.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, that is ice.
So to that guy who was, I guess he was stretching out them glutes I guess I subbed though.
All right. Here is.
Oh, by the way, get Mr. Strats with another 5 gifted.
Trying to get
Bro,
Tim
Strats,
one.
you're incredible, bro. We
Yeah.
love you, man.
Too bad you
You're
can't
awesome.
do it directly to somebody, can you?
Yeah, I don't think you can. I think it just
No, it just lets him.
just randomly.
Just Venmo him $5.
All right. Here is my ice up. Watch this.
This guy's doing bad. What's this guy doing? What you doing? Hey! Hey, shit in the bucket! He's shit
Oh,
in the bucket, man! Ma! Call the police! Call the cops! Hey, break it up, man! Call shit! Don't do it again!
Don't do it.
Oh, God! He's shitting in the bucket, Ma! Call
All right.
the fucking cops!
You know who it sounds like? It sounds like the guy that's running that video. Is who's the Michael Rappaport? It sounds like Michael Rappaport.
It does now that you mention it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're up next.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ice up this guy. It's a white boy at a roller rink. So you already know it's probably not gonna go well. But tell me, if this is not the longest fall that you have ever seen in your entire life.
He's still falling.
The music is super annoying, but yeah. Watch how I Jason is.
I look like he was trying to look cool for a second.
Dude.
Kind of
Poor
reminds me of
guy.
those. You ever seen those videos of the runway models and then the ankles?
Yeah,
start-
oh, and yeah, they just
those make me
bust ass.
cry. Yeah.
And dude, the fact that like it's on camera now. Like it used to be like you did some shit like this, and you were embarrassed in front of everybody that saw it. But now it's on the internet for everybody to see.
How are
it's
people always filming everything?
I know,
Then
it's a
that makes
perfect
me.
moment.
Then that
Right,
makes me
makes it doubt it.
suspicious.
Like,
Like
is it
even the
real?
shit in the
Oh, I know,
bucket.
some of
thing.
that stuff, yeah.
Like why
Yeah.
was he recording the guy mopping?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I googled this and it appears to be real.
Okay.
Oh my god. I'm just gonna let that sink in for you folks. If you got kids,
What, bro? No.
if you got kids, this is the
No
time
way,
to close
dude.
it.
Are
Here
you
is
for
the
real?
title of the article.
Oh boy.
Japanese porn star drowns in semen while filming bukkake scene.
Oh god, dude.
And then I went to Reddit looking for this. And
Oh my god.
it looks like that they thought she was just acting and actually drowned. God. And the director was angry at first and then realized she couldn't breathe. Good God. All right. Sorry. I didn't want I didn't
Wow,
feel
that was
comfortable even reading that one on the but it was once I Googled it to see if it was real, I was like, dude, this is terrible. Ice up.
Bro, I've seen some Japanese videos that I can't
I
even talk
haven't,
about.
but still.
Oh,
All
man.
right.
Can't even talk about them. Yep.
Yo, all right.
Okay, so my final one is it's not, I mean, it's hilarious, but I also just don't know how it happens. Like, how do you even get start doing some shit like this? He's stuck in a pot.
I'm doing everything I fucking can.
What?
He's stuck.
What
He's
is
in
it?
there.
It's like an urn?
That's what I'm saying. He's in like a pot or something, and he's
plant?
in there, but his knees are like right up to the top of the jar.
They're gonna have to break it.
Yeah, he can't get out of the thing. Man, and they say, doesn't do shit.
You got it, Connor. You got it. You do. Look, you can do it. You really can. You really can. Look, you got to pull your body out. Why? His knees are hitting.
Did he ever get out?
I don't know. I have no idea. He could still be in that pot for all I know. But dude,
He's like, you never ever see Eddie Murphy in Trading Places where he's like, right, I have no legs. Or no, that was from Kids. I have no legs. He's like, gotta put a little skateboard in.
I love how mad he gets.
I
And that doesn't do shit.
You got it, Connor. You got it. You do. Look, you can do it. You really can. You really can. Look, you got to pull your body out. His knees are hitting.
Ah, dude, I just
what?
I thought that was, dude, that was hilarious to me.
He was like trying to be a little leprechaun or something.
Yeah, I tried taking off my belt, y'all, and that didn't do shit.
Ice up. It's gonna have to ice up, but they have to take a jackhammer to that thing. I hope it's made out of like clay.
But
imagine if it was like iron.
Yeah, but dude, there's nothing funnier than a person with a country accent getting real mad. I think that's why people love it when Pickle gets mad, because he got that real heavy country accent, and when you set him off, it's just like magic. I don't know what else to say.
All right. That's the C3 Panthers podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. Every Tuesday night, we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. Thanks for hanging out, guys, on the panel, or my co-hosts, as well as thank you for all that are listening live and listening later, wherever you get your podcasts. Cody, take us out of here.
C3 Nation, until this Friday at 7 p.m., we will do what we always do. And we're going to keep pounding, baby. Let's go.